and welcome back to another episode of Easy as That. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how to fully set up this Kmart Anko Full HD Wi-Fi pan and tilt indoor camera. Let's get it open. Now just before I show you some parts and also show you how to set it up, it's important that you know that this camera only works with 2.4 GHz networks and not 5 GHz. Now in order for this camera to record what it sees when it detects movement, you're going to need to have a Microsd card installed, which is compatible but is sold separately. Now it's also important that you know that it's powered by a wall plug, not a battery. As I just mentioned, first up here we have the wall plug, followed by the camera itself, as well as some wall mounting material, and finally the instructions. Now this pan and tilt camera has many uses, such as being a baby monitor, making sure your grandparents are okay when they don't answer the phone, or even making sure that your pets are doing fine when you're not home. Now if you'd like to install a microSD card, grab your camera, scroll this bit up, and here you'll find the microSD slot. Now just put it back in place once you've installed it. As I mentioned before, it's not completely necessary and the product will work without it. However, if you would like it to record when it detects movement, then you're going to need that piece, which is sold separately. Okay, now let's get straight into setup. Let's start off by plugging it in. Turn this around and back here you should see the power plug input. Plug it right in. Now turn your camera around and it should be blue. Now you need to wait till it goes red and blinks rapidly. This may take 20 to 30 seconds. And as you can see, a tone should be heard and now it will start to blink red. This means we're all ready to start setting it up with the app. Now it's important that you know that with this app you're going to need location services enabled for it to work properly. The app is called Microsd. The spelling's in the corner there. As you can see here, you can scan the QR code on screen or you could type it into your app store. Now you've got the app, click sign up. Now you can read the user agreement and privacy policy and put in your email. This is the email that you're going to sign up with. Now we can click get verification code. Now we'll send a verification code to that inbox. If you can't find it, check your spam and junk folders. Now you can click add device. Now on the side, go to security and sensor and then click Anko pan and tilt camera. Now, if you did the steps that I showed you before, where you waited for it to blink red rapidly, you can click confirm it is blinking red fast. Now click next. Now, you need to be on a 2.4 GHz network, not a 5 GHz network, as I mentioned earlier. If you are already connected to your Wi-Fi network, it should put in your Wi-Fi name automatically and you'll just need to put in your password. Now we'll ask you to scan a QR code to your camera. I'm going to show you this bit on camera. Now what you need to do is grab your phone with the QR code and hold it 15 to 20 centimeters away from your camera. Now you may need to adjust the angle of your camera so it does see the QR code. Once you hear that, it means it's paired and you can click beep/indicator switched. Now we'll scan for your camera. You'll need to make sure that both your camera and your device are close to your Wi-Fi router. This may take a while, but now it is registered to the cloud and it will initialize the device. And as you can see, our device is successfully added. Now we can click done. Now the first thing you want to do is click the pencil in the top right hand corner, go down to the bottom and click firmware information. Make sure that you download the firmware as it's very important and it won't work properly if you don't download this. Alright, and now I've showed you how to set it up, I'm going to show you some of the functions. Let's start off with taking a screenshot. Now, this will ask you to enable permissions so it can save. However, it won't actually save in your photos and will save in the photo album down the bottom here. Now next up we can use the speak function. We also have a choice to unmute the device audio of the camera so that we can actually hear what's going on while we're speaking to them. Hello, is anybody there? Now after this we have the record function which also saves to the folder down the bottom. After that we've got the SD card/playback function. Now whenever the camera detects movement and you've got a microSD card installed, it will actually start to record and save that file in that folder. Now next up we have the direction function. I'll show you how this works a little later on camera and how the camera moves. Now we also have the alarm function, we can turn this on and then choose if we'd like it all day on or scheduled. We can also choose our start time and off time. Now after that, we can also choose our sensitivity levels. Now here's what the camera looks like when it moves. Now you're about to hear, but I don't actually think that the gears are too loud. Now as you can see, it stops there, but when we turn it around the other way, it can go up to that point again. So I guess it counts as a 360, but just not in one movement. Now, next up, we can also make the middle part go either up or down. Now here's what the motion blur looked like. It was a bit delayed. Now a slight design flaw is if you do have movement detection enabled, when you are spinning it round, it will actually count as movement and it will notify you even though you're changing stuff in the app. Now, another problem is that when it does spin and it detects movement, if you have a Microsd card installed, it will actually start recording, which can waste some storage. And now I'm going to show you how to put this on a wall, or if you'd like, you can even just put it on a flat surface. Now, if you're going to wall mount it, you're going to need the screws included. Now, wall mounting is pretty easy. Just put those screws in along with the panel, and then you can simply put it on a wall like this. It can spin, look up or down. You can even have it upside down if you'd like, underneath a bookshelf, or you could just have it sit on top of something and blend in. Now let's say if you still want to get a brief idea of what happened when this camera detects movement, but you don't have a Microsd card installed and don't want to pay the extra money, here's a hidden feature that not many people know about. In the bottom, go to the Me tab, and then click Message Center. Now, at the top, there should be an alarm bell, which is called the alarm settings. Tap your device, and now I can see an automatic photo taken whenever it detects movement. So now I can have a brief idea of what's going on without having to pay all that extra money for a Microsd card. Now this is what the night vision of the camera looks like. Now, it is black and white and isn't the best quality. Now this is what nighttime vision looks like when it's moving. Now next up, I'm going to change the name, just like I've done here. Tap the pencil in the top right hand corner and then click Device Name. Here you can edit the name. Once you've finished, click Save. Alright, and now I'm going to show you how to make an automated scenario. Now here, I've got all three of my cameras. Now, I'm going to make a scenario that if it's at night time and the front door camera detects any movement, it automatically turns all the indoor cameras onto motion detection, just in case. Now, we can click Smart at the bottom, and then click the plus in the top right hand corner. Now we're going to set this up. So, down the bottom you need to click When Device Status Changes, and then select, this is for me, my doorbell camera. Now this would only really work if you do have 2 or more cameras. Now I'm going to say, when it is triggered at a medium level of movement, and then I'm going to say, Run Device, Indoor Camera 1, and I'm going to make the motion turn on. That's motion detection. Now, click Next. Down the bottom, select the effective period, because you don't want this just to happen all day. I'm going to select a custom time, from 8 o'clock at night, all the way to 7 in the morning. Now, we can click OK. And finally, we can click Next. It'll give you a short overview. Now, we also want to make sure up here that we select all conditions are met. So now, when my camera at the front door detects a medium amount of movement from 8 PM to 7 AM, it will tell this camera, the indoor camera, to make sure that its motion detection is turned on, just to make sure that no one is inside the house. Now, we can click Save. Now, we can click Yes. Alright, and now it's time for the part of the video where I discuss any problems I had with this product and give it an overall review. Let's start off with delay. Now there was a bit of a delay between what the video camera saw and what was actually happening in real life. Now when I clicked the movement controls, it was a very small delay between what actually happened, but as I mentioned before, what the video camera saw was actually a few seconds after. So it may look like when it turns it was delayed, but it really is turning at the right time. Now I saw online that some people said it took too long to establish an encrypted channel. However, this wasn't the case in my opinion. It only took a very short time for me. However, this is dependent on your Wi-Fi network, as well as if you have a 5GHz network as well, which is not supported. Now in terms of value for money, I'm a bit torn because it is $20 more expensive than the other indoor camera. However, this one does allow that freedom to move, which I really like. Now it's also $20 cheaper than both the outdoor security camera and the doorbell. Now I'm just torn between this one because if you think of it, $79, and if you want to monitor your whole house from the inside, that's a lot of cash because one of these isn't just going to do the job. But it can't go without saying that it is a one-time payment and it's self-monitored, so you don't have to pay someone else to look at it for you. Now in terms of aesthetics, I really like it. It's got this nice blue room here, and I also think that it does blend in if you do have a white wall. However, this black bit can stand out. Whether that's a bad thing or a good thing, you can decide. Now in terms of size, I think it was a bit bigger than I was expecting it to be, especially in relation to the packet. Now the night vision mode can't also go without mention. It wasn't actually very good, and I think it could definitely use some improving. However, you could see stuff pretty well. Now, I also saw online that in nighttime mode, if this object was near a mirror, it would make a big white blur. The closer it was to the mirror, the bigger, and the further away, the smaller the white blur. That's on screen now. In terms of setup, I think it was actually pretty easy. So this is why I'm giving this Kmart Anko Full HD Wi-Fi pan and tilt indoor camera a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now the question is, do I recommend this? Well, yes, I do recommend this if you've got pretty good internet and the cost is inside your budget, as well as a small delay not bothering you too much. Now, if you need any more help setting up this product or you have a few questions, feel free to comment them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Now, you can also help me out by subscribing so I can keep on helping you. And of course, if you have lost the instructions, like I've had so many people have, just let me know in the comments and I'll email a new one. So until next time, this has been easy as that. See ya! Now, if your device is not blinking rapidly or it just has a still blue, as you can see here, on the bottom, click the reset button and hold it for 5 seconds or until you hear the dong 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 sound. Just like that.